We got these T-pins here. We back probing the feed for the mass airflow sensor. We're going to figure out if it's getting correct voltage, power, ground, and signal. That's what I'm looking at. So what we're looking at is our mass airflow. Here's that yellow that I was talking about. Here's our T-pin. So back probing. You don't want this to go into the jack. You want it to go right back into the connector. Do a little T-pin. Right here is probably a better angle. Right. On engine off, 0.5 to 4.5. And if it's below 0.5, you're going to have a short to ground, either on the signal wire or in the mass airflow sensor. The sensor should be fine. It's a brand new sensor, so I'm not. Okay, when we do that, let's see. Let me make sure I got a good contact on there. I'm going to put this on the ground. Okay, staying at 5 volts. Okay, now let's see what the chart says about that. According to what this is saying, since we have 5 volts on it. So if you have above 4.5, then you have a short to power, either in the mass airflow sensor or on the signal wire. Check the supply wire. Well, disconnected. Okay, we just did that. That's not actually connected. So disconnected, we had 5. So it looks like it's getting power. I think what I should do is probably take the doghouse down out of it and put the fuel pressure tester on the fuel rail. I changed the fuel filter. Good suggestion. New OEM pump, everything. Let's see what the fuel pressure comes up as. Then just have them replace the drain plug if it was all boogered up. Got one. At least I got that little heater going, so I'm not freezing my butt off. Okay, there it is. Wasn't even hard to do. I'll take this passenger seat out. No, I'm not afraid if I make the mistakes. You just go through and correct it. Seat too. The bench seat. Oops. Here to the fuel rail. Little Schrader valve is. Here it is. I get the fuel pressure tester stuff out. Here's the fuel pressure access. So I don't know. I don't think the fuel pressure could be is the issue. Maybe it's got some vacuum leaks or something. Maybe something's loose or popped off. Possibly. So we'll take a look right here. Airbox thing off. Make sure that's all seated right. See if there's any obvious cracks or anything. Yeah, that looks the way it's supposed to go. Let's try to start it again. Quite a bit of symptoms. I guess we just go through and rule them out. I guess there'll be more to come on this. I'm just going to end it here today at this point. All right, guys, thanks for watching. There'll be more to come on this and then other vehicles as well. Appreciate it. All right, till next time, guys.